Today, we're diving into a discussion that has been making waves in the world of wearables, the Apple Watch Ultra 3. Many of us were excited when Apple first released the Ultra version of their iconic smartwatch, but with every iteration, there's one glaring issue that keeps resurfacing: battery life. Yes, while there are several impressive features packed into the Apple Watch Ultra, it's the one element that seems to hold it back from being the perfect adventure companion. So, let's take a deeper look at the Apple Watch Ultra 3 and why it might need one major change to truly shine. Back in 2022, Apple launched the first generation of the Apple Watch Ultra, and I was one of the first to sing its praises. It was the rugged, outdoorsy smartwatch that Apple fans had been hoping for, designed for people who care about fitness but aren't necessarily elite athletes. Sure, for hardcore adventurers or marathon runners, a Garmin watch might still be the better choice. But for the rest of us, people who value a mix of style, functionality, and a bit of tech luxury, the Apple Watch Ultra was a fantastic option. It gave us everything we loved about Apple's design sensibilities, but with the added features that made it look more tough: a larger screen, a more durable case, and a brighter display. However, when the Apple Watch Ultra 2 was released, a year later, the excitement was a little more subdued. To be blunt, it didn't really bring anything new to the table. Sure, Apple tossed in a few software upgrades, like the S9 chip and some new features like pinch-to-answer calls and offline Siri functionality, but the Ultra 2 was largely the same as its predecessor. A year after that, Apple released the black titanium version of the Ultra 2, which, let's be honest, was really just a color change. But it did look slick, and I'll admit, I wanted one. And now, after spending about 2 weeks with the Apple Watch Ultra 2 in black titanium, I've learned a few things I actually like about it, things I had forgotten about since the first version. But of course, there's still that one big issue that Apple needs to fix in the next iteration. The Apple Watch Ultra 2. What's new? Now let's talk about what's actually new in the Apple Watch Ultra 2. If you're coming from the first generation, the changes may not be as groundbreaking as you might expect. One of the more noticeable upgrades is the display. The Ultra 2 features a peak brightness of 3000 nits compared to the first generation's 2000 nits. On paper, that sounds impressive. But the reality is, do we really need that many nits? I mean, how often do you look at your watch and think, wow, this display could use more brightness? But I digress. It's a nice upgrade for those who are out in the sun a lot, especially while hiking or running. Battery life has also been slightly improved, but don't expect miracles. Apple introduced a new low-power mode, which is great for stretching out battery life during the day, but the watch still won't last as long as many competitors on the market. More on that later. What's great about the Apple Watch Ultra 2? Despite my frustrations with the battery, there's a lot to love about the Apple Watch Ultra 2. First, let's talk about the price. At $799, I honestly think it's a steal for an Apple product. Many were expecting the Ultra to be a $1,000+ watch, and although the price is still hefty, it's not as expensive as we feared. For the features you're getting, it's actually pretty well priced when compared to similar products. The display, though I jested about the nights earlier, is fantastic. Having tried a number of smartwatches from brands like Garmin and Huawei, I can confidently say that the Apple Watch Ultra's screen just feels better. Whether it's the color accuracy or the vividness, it's hard to pin down, but it simply looks more pleasing to the eye. Additionally, watchOS is hands down the best mobile operating system for smartwatches. While other platforms like Wear OS have made strides, Apple's system is still the smoothest and most refined. One of my favorite features is the Apple Maps integration, which, let's face it, is a lifesaver during outdoor adventures. Apple Pay works seamlessly as well, something that's not always guaranteed with other smartwatches. And of course, who doesn't love the black titanium version? It's the same watch as the regular Ultra 2, but with a sleek, stylish color that just adds a touch of sophistication. It's funny how something as simple as color can make such a difference. The one big issue: battery life. Now, let's get to the elephant in the room. Battery life. Apple. Why? Why does this continue to be an issue? If you're coming from the first generation, the Apple Watch Ultra 2's battery life is marginally better, but we're still looking at about 2 days of use on a full charge. This is where the Garmin watches and Android alternatives completely outperform the Apple Watch Ultra 2. Garmin's lineup of adventure watches, for example, can last for days, sometimes up to a week, on a single charge. And let's not forget about Android watches like the Samsung Galaxy Watch Ultra, which can go for several days as well. It's confusing that Apple, a company that prides itself on seamless user experience, hasn't yet cracked the code to extending battery life while maintaining all the features we love. I've heard theories that Apple intentionally limits battery life to promote regular charging habits. But even so, it feels like the Ultra 2 could easily last longer with just a few tweaks. Yes, the new low-power mode is helpful, but it's not the solution we're hoping for. I'm genuinely perplexed by how Apple hasn't fixed this issue by now, especially since the competition is so far ahead in this department. The verdict. What needs to change? So, what does the Apple Watch Ultra 3 need? Quite simply, it needs a significant improvement in battery life. Sure, the design is great, the display is top-notch, and watchOS remains a leader in the field, but without a major upgrade to battery performance, it will remain just short of being the ultimate smartwatch. If Apple can solve this issue, they could create a smartwatch that truly caters to the active, outdoorsy crowd without sacrificing the stylish, sleek design that makes the Ultra series so appealing. What do you think? Have you tried the Apple Watch Ultra 2? Or are you waiting for the Ultra 3? Do you agree that battery life is the biggest problem? Or is there something else Apple needs to focus on? Let me know in the comments below, and feel free to share your thoughts. Thanks for tuning in to today's review. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with all things tech, from the latest smartwatch updates to cutting-edge gadget reviews. Catch you in the next video.